He said, if you hate making money,
edit your own content. That means you got to outsource, right? You got to delegate. You got to focus on what's working to have the luxury to work on your passion project.
Hire someone that does something that you don't like to do. My strengths are not really here. I know where I'm strong at. I know where I'm not strong at. You know what I'm saying? It's the missing piece. It's going to shift into a grind mode because I can't be everywhere 100%. You know, I protect, provide, and teach. So I got to do all three of those things while also being the man in the house and also making sure everything's afloat because I got partners. I got assistants. I got this. I got that. Where so we all still got to, you know, succeed at the end of the day.
A lot of entrepreneurs, man, you can even ask billionaires, they never feel like it's enough. You always striving to be your best and to be the best, but at a certain point, you're going to have to outsource some of the work and have people you can trust in your corner, in your circle. Yo, welcome back to another one, Delete King's podcast. I'm Delete King 850. How y'all doing today? Here we got...
You already know, Delete King CVO.
It's been a while. We like halfway through the year, honestly. And what comes to mind is like, what's been going on? Have y'all been hitting y'all goals for the year? And what came to mind is like, what have I accomplished this year? Or even building a team. Me, honestly, I kind of feel behind, you know? So we gonna chop it up about just entrepreneurship in general. You know, this whole podcast is built off of not just interviewing people, but we live streaming a whole process of team building at the end of the day. So you get to learn and witness the growth of a team growing together and the struggles we deal with, things of that nature. End of the day, it's been a good year, but a couple setbacks. Not for just me, some of my clients, people that I work with, but no matter what you go through, you still gotta keep pushing through. But yeah, everything we got going on, I'll start with, CVO. It was important for us to like reach his goals and like work together and accomplish where we at now, HQ Chicago. He had a lot of setbacks during that process, but do you generally feel like you on track for the year? Because I see what you accomplished and it's amazing. So like, I want to know where you at with your 2024?
As far as on track, what do you mean, like on track? Like is HQ or
no? You personally, like, has the person in charge of multiple businesses and achieving the goals? Like, do you do any goal setting in the beginning of the year?
Yeah, we had set some goals. You know what I'm saying? There's things that we hit, things we didn't hit. You feel me? But as far as what we got going on, there's always gonna be little setbacks here and there. No, nothing's gonna ever be perfect. We're never gonna have a perfect scoreboard. You're never gonna guess all the March Madness games right. So none of it would always fall within your favor for real. But I feel like we've definitely accomplished a lot of things that we definitely set. Things could have been better. Little things could be more strategic. Some things were winged. But other than that, I'm feel like I'm pretty good right now. We got the car steady, steady getting booked. HQ is now getting booked a little bit more. People are getting more accustomed to it. We had a promotion video that kind of went a little semi-viral in Chicagoland area. Had everybody rocking with it. So that was something that kind of jumped the gun a little bit. We had people who wanted to come in here and do things. I got some subscription people that were about to do our new subscription service here at HQ Chicago as well. And then we got the credit clients. We got this, we that. It's so much stuff. And what's the only thing that's crazy is that with me, I'm about to have a child in about 2 months, and pretty much August 8th, whenever this, podcast drop where you see it, but August 8th is around that date. So it's like I'm kind of, I wouldn't say running with like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to get a lot of shit done and plan also my baby shower, this, then, and third to make sure everything's right for my son. It's a lot of overwhelming, but I mean, I feel good. I'm very confident where we at. Like I said, Ty said, we're building a team. I got a team here at HQ, so we're getting a lot of things done with a lot more like-minded people really pushing forth the goals and also the vision that we all got together. So it's moving and flowing. Every year is just gonna get better. Every day just get better as well. So, like I said, there's ups and downs, but I feel like I'm pretty cool where we're at right now.
That's what's up, because I know you was trying to get this place back to where it was at its peak, but like over the course of 4 years now, It's been like a lot of ups and downs. You always gonna have your good seasons, you're gonna have your bad seasons. Like on the way here, I was listening to a podcast and they were just talking about like over 3,000 well-known businesses went bankrupt. They failed. They out of business. All the familiar, like Family Dollar, all those stores are getting shut down. You'd be surprised, you know what I mean? Like Red Lobster, all those like major chains, a lot of things are changing the economy, you know what I mean? And there was even mentioning like for you to have a brick and mortar space in the business is tough. You know, for you to even have your own office space. For us, we teach entrepreneurship, right? We stress the importance of your business having a business address, you know, even a virtual address. So even me dropping some game on this podcast, like before I walked in here today, I was on the phone with one of my bankers and we were just chopping it up for like 30 minutes straight. And she was asking, because one of the clients we just put through, she's like, hey, is that a business address or virtual address? So at the end of the day, it's like the banks even want to be more on it as far as like, are you running a real business or is just a mailing address and things of that nature? A lot of businesses, it's hard to run that brick and mortar where you just paying for a building, you know? So imagine what he got done here with HQ. He's been running strong and he's been keeping the lights on, you know, however he can. That's a big deal actually, you know? So like he said, he got the subscription model coming with artists, maybe photographers. How does that work? Like they don't have to grab their own spot, right?
Yeah, no. So as far as what the subscription base is going to be more for creatives and photographers, videographers, graphic designers, anyone more of that realm. Artists, artists be more wanting to have a music studio, be locked in with a music, producer. We pretty much want to have a home for the high quality of the content. You feel me? So we gonna have all the graphic designers. I want all the people who know how to color grade, who could shoot a movie, who could shoot a vlog, who could shoot a reel, who could shoot a course. Literally, I want everything to be done here. So what you'll have is what's coming with the subscription is you'll have access to our fine-tuned editing room, which has a whole bunch of computers, TVs, a nice area you could chill and be like a nice creative workspace. We'll have some colors on the wall, this and that. So it's just gonna let your creative juices flow. And then you'll have also access to all of our sets. So it'll be a subscription base where you can come use that and also make money having your own space. You'll have a dedicated time slot every week where you can utilize like, oh, I need 2 hours here for my client and maybe 2 hours in like 3 days for another client. Boom. You'll have your own guest access code. You have access to the Wi-Fi, pretty much everything that's going on here, as long as everything falls within our bookings and everything we else have in general. Like I said, we have dedicated podcast days. Sometimes those days will be offset. But other than that, you'll pretty much have full-fledged power, to come in here and be a creative and do some work. Not only if you don't even have to shoot in here, you can use our editing room and, hey, you're tired of editing at home, your girl bugging you, your mom bugging you, your kids crying all the time. Come over here, come put your headphones in, come get some feng shui, you feel me, be in a nice setup so you can really get your focus and focus your work and get the content out and do your best work possible.
For sure. Like, that's rare. If you even Google a space similar to this in the Chicagoland area, it's going to be hard to find,
Yeah.
It's hard to find like good spots where you can just shoot and really be fully creative. There's like some stores where you can I think it's called like a selfie store. Like you walk around and there's different sets in there. Even those are rare, but those are like, for what those are. Just like people walking in, taking selfies and they pay a fee at the door or whatever. This is more so for the next level, artistry that want to shoot their videos with different looks and different sets and things of that nature. But it takes a lot to manage all this and this not be your only business at the end of the day. And I really respect that at the end of the day when it comes to getting this up and running and keeping it up and running, And like I said, we halfway through the year. At the end of the day, if I'm going to talk about my business, I feel like I'm still wearing a lot of hats in my business, unfortunately. Like a lot of entrepreneurs, man, you can even ask billionaires, they never feel like it's enough. You always striving to be your best and to be the best, but at a certain point, you're going to have to outsource some of the work. You're going to have to build that team and have people you can trust in your corner, in your circle, right? I'm very one-on-one with a lot of my clients. Like, I get more excited about results than sometimes getting paid sometimes. It just feels good to see the transformation, to see something work, like to feel like I cracked the code on something, like especially like business funding and things of that nature. What I feel like I'm behind on is definitely building that community. But at the same time, you know, God has his own timing at the end of the day. And a lot of that, I say a lot of that to say, like, you got to keep going no matter what. Like, there's times where I ain't trying to make this no cliche entrepreneur podcast, motivational speech or nothing, but, times get hard and I want to keep it real and transparent because I feel like the more transparent I can be, the more people can actually gain from taking the time to even sit through this and listen and connect with us. At the end of the day, it's a team thing, and it's really essential that, y'all learn from entrepreneurs that's growing at the end of the day. When it comes to what else we got going, so we building a community with the Facebook group, the Delete Kingdom, but we're also building like the paid mentorship. All of that has been like a lot to get done. At the same time, serving the business clients, at the same time, working on helping people with their credit, things of that nature. You just can't give up at the end of the day,
Right.
It's been a journey, but halfway through, in the beginning of the year, I put a lot of places that I wanted to travel, but sometimes you got to really buckle down and focus on getting the work done. You got to work hard and then you play hard, and you reap the benefits of the work that you put in. Like, it might not all be fun and games at first, but I already know what I'm focused on. Like, and I'd be curious too, like, with you having a baby on the way, like, That's 2 months. Like, how do you feel things might even change once the baby's actually here?
I feel like two things are going to happen. Like the time would change dramatically just because you have to cater to, to your child, not your cub, your offspring, You got to make sure they're growing, they're fed, everything's going on, and you also got to be there in their life, especially their early life, like, it's not, I had a kid and I'm working 50, 70,000 hours, this and that, and I don't see my son, and then I'm gonna wonder, how's he gonna grow up, or how would that affect him when he gets older, his life choices, his mistakes that he shouldn't make, that I should have taught him if I was there, this, that, and the third. So I feel like it's gonna be more attention to my son, but also a lot of things for my son. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for generational wealth, for him and, his kids and his brother. So it's like, I feel like it's gonna shift into a grind mode, but I feel like my time is gonna have to be a little chosen more wisely because I can't be everywhere 100%. There'll be a time I can't be here. I could be home working on credit repair, but this will be here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll have someone here working this, so things stay afloat where I can kind of, okay, I know that's working. I can come over here a little bit, maybe come here on a Thursdays and Fridays, check in, see what's going on, maybe bounce the books a little bit, just look at some, quick stuff, move on. Okay, go home. I got a computer a little set up at home, so I can definitely do what I need to from home, and kind of like, hey, if I really need to leave the house, is it worth it? Is it going to feed my child? Is it going to better the family? Is it going to better our situation? And if it's not, then I'm home with my son and focusing on things that could do that, what I'm saying, from home. But other than that, I feel like it's just going to drive a real line in me because, again, you got a cub now, what I'm saying? Things you're supposed to protect, provide, and, and teach. So I got to do all three of those things while also being the man in the house and making sure I'm taking care of business and also making sure everything's afloat because I got partners, I got assistants, I got this, I got that, where we all still got to, succeed at the end of the day.
100%. I just also remembered, like, while you were speaking, like, part of my vision for this year was definitely taking a podcasting more serious. When it came down to this podcast, I say it probably started 2 years ago for real, or probably 2021. Yeah, the time just flew by at the end of the day, which has been an extremely difficult thing to get done. And I can get more into that because it's perfect timing. A month from now, to the date, will be at the podcast summit, right? In a perfect world, this podcast will be out online before then.
Right.
But for example, I've been editing a lot of the podcasts, pretty much all of them. I've edited every podcast. And anybody that knows how to edit knows how tedious and time consuming that can be. So imagine trying to run 4 or 5 other businesses and then finding the time to edit a podcast. There's an entrepreneur named Cofield. I was watching a podcast he was on. He literally said, if you hate making money, edit your own content. Like you know, so it's kind of backwards, right? So
Wait,
and
he said if you hate making money,
edit your own content. That means you got to outsource, right? You got to delegate. The name of the game is delegate. And I'm quoting him specifically because I'm giving him credit because he dropped a lot of game on that podcast that I apply. And it's just me. I could sit up here and make excuses on why I haven't found an editor yet. The podcasting business in itself, there's a lot of potential. I ain't on here just to hear my voice and because I just want to speak all day and hear my voice, and I don't have that much of an ego. I have a vision and a purpose with doing this whole podcast and putting it together the way I've put it together. And I'll repeat that in case y'all haven't seen the previous episodes, but it's ultimately to enlighten everybody in the world about business funding and credit and, you know, personal finance, and get people on here that's way smarter than me and that are wealthy and rich that people can learn from and follow their footsteps. And then the other half of the guests will be people that can learn from me, right? No matter what level you are, be a part of something that they can grow and witness. And then that third part of it is definitely just documenting my process as an entrepreneur. But getting back into, we got 4 weeks into the podcast summit. What I'm recording now is probably the 6th podcast that's locked in the chamber that I got to edit. So why are you watching a podcast about this guy talking about a podcast that he still got work to do? It's just like behind the scenes, right? If you ever want to join a podcast, they say probably 95% of podcasts don't make it over 20 episodes, right? But I'm dedicated in it to win it at the end of the day, right? To the point where you see the first podcast and you see a bunch of the other podcasts we shot at the other location, and then you see what we got going on now. You can see we're growing. You can see we're definitely growing, but there's a lot of work that need to be fixed behind the scenes at the end of the day. So it's like a PSA at the end of the day, we're hiring. But how do you hire a podcast editor? How do podcasts even make money, right? Now, I've been, there's, you know, y'all, everybody should know about David Shands, the king of podcasts, right? I'm a big fan. I met him when he came down to Chicago and, you know, got the tickets to the podcast summit. At the end of the day, the business of podcasting is kind of what I explained. And at the end of the day, you still have an offer, purpose behind educating people. It's half entertainment, but educational if you picking up what we putting down and dropping gems at the end of the day. So one of my podcast topics was the importance of putting out content in real time, right? Which is extremely difficult to do, but you definitely got to have systems in place. And if you don't, you just got to kind of figure it out. So I don't have all the answers, but it's been extremely challenging and difficult, right? It's been extremely challenging and difficult, but all I know is to be consistent. And in the perfect world, which I still strongly feel, we're going to have those 6 episodes out before July 4th. And I feel like even putting it on the record on a public platform like this, and shout out to all the people that have been viewing our podcast consistently, right? I want those numbers to grow completely organic, right? But to incentivize an editor to edit and then pay an editor, right? You just got to believe in the vision that strong. Because before a podcast can make money without celebrity clients, celebrity guests, and one of our best, this is the main point too, one of our biggest guests that we've had the opportunity to interview, that episode isn't done yet. And we shot that maybe 6 episodes ago. But it's something that the file got corrupted on the SD card, but it's like, we still got to figure it out. So I'm telling this story just so people can understand a little bit of the behind the scenes, but understand like we can make something look easy. Like how hard could it be? Set up 3 cameras. Would you believe it takes 45 minutes to set up 3 tripod stands? It doesn't have to, but if you want to angle them perfectly, do the mic checks, make sure the SD cards got space, make sure the lighting is set up, right? Make sure the volume and the gain, all of that. In the world of podcasting, a lot goes on behind the scenes. And podcasts should be, nowadays is mostly visual, but it could be mostly audio. Now we got to find the employee who's going to put it on all platforms, right? A lot that goes into it at the end of the day. But the Elite Kings podcast, at the end of the day, we not stopping. It's a passion project of mine, but sometimes you got to focus on what's working to have the luxury to work on your passion project. That's what's going on, right? And it can always seem overwhelming, but that's why I feel, okay, half the year's gone by. I got the podcast summit coming up where I want to reach my goal. My first goal, over 20 episodes. Now that puts us in 90% in my head of all podcasts. Consistency. Now what could I do to get that podcast out there? We're going to chop up these clips, put it out there on social media, short form and long form, right? But my goal, every podcast that was at least shot, including this one, out before that day by any means necessary, you know? And I just seen, one thing I was been impressed with is this man right here, CVO's ability to get people to help him with his goal and his vision, even putting this warehouse together. Now, I'll be giving him a lot of game on the business funding and credit stuff, but I feel like there's opportunities I can learn as well. Like, how do you even find loyal people? You got 10-year people. And I can make an excuse and say, oh, I'm an introvert, or I'm going to have a whole nother podcast episode. People just don't like me. I spoke about that many times, but to build a loyal team to accomplish a goal, that seems to be like hitting the lottery. Like you have a secret, bro, like what's going on. Like you have loyal people in your corner that just seem to be showing up. We got somebody behind the camera right now monitoring the cameras. Very difficult to pull off. You got people that, I don't want to say volunteered their $5,000 camera, but they agreed to, you know what I mean? What is the secret sauce to that? And don't say it's like just natural.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's natural. It's more like how I guess I've held myself and the respect I give people, the love I kind of give people. I've never been really like a bridge burner. I never like, I really don't show like animosity to a lot of these people. Like people who know me, they know me from being a videographer, being very passionate in my work, where it's like I was always there to make sure they're good, they look good, they do something good. Like, hey, what's up? What you need? Let's get it done. We gonna make this movie. Like I was always bringing good energy, good vibes. Like I feel like energy is really, really big. Like when you could feed off someone, you could kind of feel offish about someone when you feel their energy, but you could kind of gravitate to someone. Like I feel like I always had that thing where I can talk to a person. I'm easy to talk to. I'm always able to reciprocate kind of something I feel like people were always giving me. Like one of our guys on the podcast, you guys already know Phil. With him, it was a whole thing. Like I knew him from a long time ago, and then a whole situation happened with, like I said, my cousin, where I sided off with my cousin, you know, but then here we are today. You know, I got nothing but love, respect. You ain't never done nothing to me. I ain't do nothing to you. What is there for us to hate each other about? What is there for us to be mad or this, that, and the third? Like, let's get some money. Let's do something. I'm doing something. You trying to do something. Let's do it together. Let's all win. You know, I'm always for everybody winning. I'm always for everybody eating. You know, like I said,
I could say I am too. I always try to search for those win-win situations. And I don't have too many people to tell me about myself, which I wish I did. But honest friends are rare. But imagine if I'm walking around this earth thinking that I'm always looking for a win-win situation, but some people might think I'm a dick, right? But nobody's there to check you. You know, there's nobody there to really even correct you or advise you or just, you know, having the right people around you and making sure your circle is strong. But the problem I'm describing is like if the circle is thin, if you are sort of a lone wolf at sometimes, you know? You don't consider yourself a lone wolf at all, right? You're more like a pack of a leader of a pack or whatever.
I
like,
mean, I feel like I used to be, but it was more so because of how I was handling certain situations, like I said, or what my job was, or what I was, who I was, like what I was doing. You know, I feel like a lone wolf because I was just shooting videos for everybody. I was going there by myself, getting it done, doing this, you know. As I started to learn, I started to, you know what I'm saying, one, like I say, certain podcasts that you listen to, I listen to, you know, like hire someone that does something that you don't like to do. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of one of those things that start to kind of lean on people where like, hey, my strengths are not really here. I know where I'm strong at. I know where I'm not strong at. Let's put the piece to, you know what I'm saying? It's the missing piece. Like let's put it together for real. And I've always felt a lone wolf, but now I feel like, hey, we can all go somewhere. I know my knowledge. I could lead some people here, and for me to keep leading or for me to keep motivating people or inspiring somebody, you know, that still comes with my people around me, because sometimes I can't do the stuff I do without my people that are, you know what I'm saying, loyal, who I got loyalty to as well. Like if we're not all working together, even that next wolf that's leading the pack can't stand out for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's a real conjoint progress on leading somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like you're always gonna have that one person, but that one person always gotta fall on that person. That person gotta fall on that person. That person gotta fall on that person. And so you're at least having someone pick your shoulder up a little bit. Like if I'm leading the pack and I cut my leg, I don't expect my number two to fucking, oh, he's dead. Oh, his leg is still going. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Put, you know what I'm saying? Help me lead. Switch places with me for a second. Like you were saying, like let's do something so we can all benefit and we can continue living how kings should live. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what I feel now. But there was times I definitely felt like I was literally nothing but a lone wolf. I was a lone wolf, doing it all alone, couldn't do nothing. I was trying to put people and they wouldn't let it. But I just, over the years, all the relationships I had built, all the people I had showed real loyalty, love, respect, like I'm happy. I'm happy they're in my corner. I appreciate them more than they really ever know, for real. You know, and I just want to keep doing that, and I keep my bridges strong. Like I don't think there's not one person I can call on my phone that won't say I didn't give them respect, I didn't give them love, or you know, I didn't help them help them either look good on camera or help them do something else in their life. You know, I feel like I can't make that phone call now and I'll have someone that say something shitty about me. Maybe one person. You know what I'm saying? For real, that I can think about, but realistically, no. Like what I like to think is a little terminology. You know what I'm saying? How you say lone wolf, or you go into a jungle alone. You feel me? You may come out with, you know, a little bite to eat here, this and there, whatever. You might come out with some little stuff. You grab this little fruit, you grab this little animal. You go into, you know what I'm saying, the forest with a pack with a whole bunch of monsters. You're gonna take over. Everybody eating here, and we damn near have more to give away. You know what I'm saying? Because we taking it all. You know, we come in as I'm into this Game of Thrones right now. I'm late, but me and my girl, we into the Game of Thrones, and I see like literally one guy will go in and he'll get slaughtered, but you go in there with your team, you got a fighting chance. You know, and I always say that, like I said, you got a fighting chance. You have a team. You got strong people with you, and that's how it should be. You know, going in alone, shit, you don't know what the hell can happen. And at the end of the day, you in alone, you by yourself. So if you go into that woods and you find a bigger motherfucker bigger than you,
nobody watching your back.
You feel me? It's over with. You done. You know what I'm saying? But if it's 10 wolves fighting one bear, I think we gonna win. But if it's one wolf fighting, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the like, you know, the predator, whatever. Like, I don't see you winning. You know, I think that's just the little life. I mean, almost like the president. President got all these people to do that. You know, he's leading the country, but he got all these people he got to fall on to help him and make sure our country supposedly runs good. But you know, that terminology, whatever they doing for real, is kind of all outlandish. But you get what I mean.
100%, man. It's a lot to balance at the end of the day.
Yeah. Especially the higher the food chain you are, you know, like you could be one person leading 3 people, or then the next person, one person leading 1,000,000 people.
Yeah, man. So end of the day, whether it gets overwhelming or not, you got to make that decision if you're going to keep going.
Yeah, either you're alone or not alone. You're going to have to still have determination. Like, you going to still fight these battles. You're going to push through these mountains. It's either you go through it alone, you go through it with your pack. You might come out a little harder and stronger and a little crazy. You go out alone, but you go through it with a pack. At least you got your people to be, you know, lean on your shoulders.
Like I'm very aggressive on my plans and my goals, and I always look at them and write them down every day. I'm more of a visual person, so I gotta see like what's next. Like every week, imagine taking like 1 to 2 hours every week and you're updating a spreadsheet of your goals, you know, like color coded, dated, you know, which ones are overdue, all that, you know. So like I said, I started this off halfway through the year, a lot want to accomplish. In a perfect world, there's 52 weeks. I could be wrong. It's 52 weeks in a year. We need at least 52 podcasts out in this year, right? So shot 6 the first year. We're on podcast 20-something. But, you know, we can catch up. Now that we have, like, a dedicated space, for real, it could be a lot more organized. You know, we have more access, more control over the space. But I feel like we can hit those goals, right? The goal of building a team, I feel like I'm going to figure that out by getting in the room. Like, okay, I mentioned the podcast summit. Why? Because I don't be outside. I don't be one of them, you got to get in the room people. Like, maybe I should. Because a couple years ago when I started networking, I did what I did. I networked. But some of that networking, it either backfired or it just put a bitter taste in my mouth.
Backfired?
In a way where, like, I was influenced by people that I thought I wanted to be like, or I thought that were smarter than me, right? Mm-hmm. Time reveals all. Let me just say that. And it happens consistently. So I hope I'm making sense when I say this. Like, I'll network. Maybe damn near want to invest in somebody that on the surface, they look like they got it all together.
Mm-hmm. But behind closed doors, they probably failing.
And then I'll be like, end up teaching them stuff or putting them on. It's happened multiple times. And there's nothing, I'll say this probably on every podcast. It sucks feeling like the smartest person in the room. It really does. It sucks finding out like you're the smartest person in the room like after a couple months go by. But it's like when I say finding out you're the smartest, but just based off of results, not off of ego, or if you don't like a person, it's just like, I just helped this person do this. What the hell they do for me lately?
Right.
You know?
I mean, I've kind of felt that way when I was networking as far as like a videographer. I mean, when I was really heavily networking, it felt good. I feel like a lot of people that I network with, I probably had bad connections, but I can't really think of them right now or anything like bad like that. But a lot of people that I network with when I was really doing my CVO films thing, like, it was, I guess my strategy was, you know, there's hundreds of photographers, videographers, everyone got a camera, but when I was doing it, you know, there was still a select few. There was a select few that were really good at it, and then, you know, there's the people who had the name. Me, I always thought I was an upper echelon, even though I had a smaller name. I wasn't an AJ, I wasn't a Laka, but I knew how to shoot. I knew how my shit looked good. I knew that it was, if I put it in your face, you was gonna like it, and it was gonna be undeniable. You know, like, wow, I want to shoot something like that. Or you saw a vision, like, oh yeah, I got a song that matched that style. I always saw something like, no, I'm good at what I do. And I'm gonna do everything that's possible. So that's why I was at every concert. I was trying to get in with every heavy hitter in the Chicagoland area that I can lay my eyes on, almost, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this person's on stage, I need to get on stage. How do I get on stage? And I started really doing that to the point where now I can be on stage. I can be on stage almost anything that comes through Chicago. Like when I hit you the other day, HQ pretty much was damn near finalized. The floors were drying, so we couldn't even be here. And I was like, you know what? Me and my guys, we did some hard ass work. So I got invited on the guest list of Joyner Lucas tour. So I took the guys. I was like, man, hey, I brought my girl. Bro brought his girl. This and that. I was like, man, let's go celebrate a little bit. Joyner Lucas got the whole invite. We on the guest list. Names on the list. Cool. Now that I have that type of pool, Summer Smash, I'm always backstage, Summer Smash, Artist Pass, chopping up with Cole Bennett, chopping up with all the big artists. This year sucks, like, what I'm saying? I got my son's baby shower. We got the baby shower at the same time for however reason that Summer Smash is. But if Summer Smash wasn't there or I get a call, I guarantee you I can be there when Chief Keef there. I'll be on stage with Chief Keef. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be backstage in these guys' rooms. I even had a personal invite from, I think he's Dirk's manager now, but he was Juice WRLD's manager, Trippie Redd's manager, Dirk's manager. His name's Pete, Unnecessary Ballin'. He gave me all access on one of the Juice WRLD days. So I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was able to build up my network for real. So now it's to the point where entertainmentally, I can almost do everything, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm trying to switch it. Like, okay, I'm cool with the entertainment side. If I want to throw a show, I want to throw an artist, I can get it done. I want to be at a concert, I can get it done. I want to shoot this person, I probably could get it done. This person's in town, they need something, I'm there. Like, I get random phone calls all the time for opportunities like that, and it's like, I love that. I will always cherish that. I'm always damn near gonna take those opportunities. But now I feel like I'm trying to build on other stuff, like how you say you don't want to be a smartest person in the room. So I feel like I'm very well in tune into the entertainment industry and what's going on in my city. I want to be really in tune on stuff I don't know. I want to be on the upper echelon of businesses, of learning how to manage a company, manage others. Just even what's going on deeper in the city as far as the politics. And I want to know the shit that I don't know. So it helps me know what I should know and where I should really lead to and how I should move based on everything I know now. You know what I'm saying? All the network that I didn't put in, all the connections I didn't have. I know shit. If I got a connection with the house stuff, I can do house stuff. If I got connections with the credit stuff, you know what I'm saying? We can do the credit stuff. I got connections with the artist stuff. I'm go chill with that artist. I want it to be everywhere. That's why one of my other guys too, he had followed me on the gram. I forgot how the hell we found each other. But is this my boy? We're gonna get him on the podcast too. He from Houston. His name is Zilla Fatu. Zilla Fatu is the son of the WWE legend Umaga. And
that sounds like some Black Panther,
like you said, like
superhero.
But like this, he's like taking the bloodline of The Rock and everything that's tied to The Rock types. You know what I'm saying? All the Samoan line, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever that family tree looks like, he's a part of that. And it's like, man, I want to have WWE connections. I want to have some WWE networking. Like shit. Me and one of my clients, we did like a little business trip. Went to WrestleMania, and I'm getting him together, and we do a couple other things. I even had some people to do consultations out in Philly. So I was happy we took that trip. But it's like, man, I would love to be a part, have some ends in that. Like I have, like my first almost networking experience was football for real. I have some people right now that are in the league that I either played against or I actually played in college with them. Shout out my boy Mike Joseph. He was on the Bears, went to the XFL. So now, hey, let me come to a game or let's do something, whatever. We can do that. I got the network, I got the connection.
That's dope, and I like that. I want to say I like that contrast, right? I think it's kind of interesting. Like you see his enthusiasm, all the networking he's done and built, and it's just like with my enthusiasm about networking is just like I know it's necessary, Why do I come out here and say I've had a bitter experience?
Right.
No, I've learned from every situation. You know what I mean? But it could be a personality trait. Sometimes I learn more about myself every day. I don't feel I'm a people person necessarily, but I know my VIP clients, the people that I help them get hundreds of thousands of business funding, and not just because of that, even before the funding actually starts. When I'm hopping on these weekly calls with my VIP, man, it's like we're family. I swear.
Then
It's
when
like,
it gets to someone outside the VIP, you're saying
it's just not. It's like everybody. I say this right. I can count on my hand a few situations where I try to get in business with people and they felt like family. Oh, that's bro. And then like I said, time reveals all. I feel like I end up getting burnt in a lot of situations, but every business owner should feel this way. That's why I'm speaking this out loud, because this some real shit, right? I probably said it on this podcast. You don't put people in a position to hurt you financially, to hurt you emotionally, right? That's probably called having a wall up and being like a weirdo, but like it could be a defense mechanism or whatever that I don't have the words for. You know what I mean? I try to manage that as much as possible while I'm on the way up on my grind. A lot of things can be distracting. So when you put your trust into somebody, you want to build up, what up, bro? And it's just like, that's cool when things are good. It's like when things go south, can that relationship be maintained? Right? Because like I said, I can count on my fingers where I had some people, like we became close and we wanted to do business, but it was just like they both ended up screwing me. Lost a couple thousand, you know? And it's like, how do I avoid making that mistake? Right? Because it seems to be something consistent, because trust is necessary for business at the end of the day. It would be hilarious and goofy to think that you can really survive and grow and scale without trusting anybody. Some other people quoted it too online, like, you over there talking about, I don't have no friends, I don't trust nobody, XYZ, you posting memes. Yeah, right.
I feel like if you're saying you posting that, I'm like, well, okay, you don't trust nobody, you got no friends, that means you got no business partner, you're not doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? It says more
about you to be on that type of time, right? So it's a thin line with me saying I'm not a people person. I don't be outside. I'm not even saying I don't like networking, because, you know, it's rare that I will start a conversation. It's rare. Literally, probably last year I started doing that. Remember when we went out? We went out to that place where it was a networking opportunity. The theme was like lawyers and stuff that are in college or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was starting conversations because I had to get out my comfort zone. So like that was only last year where I love keeping a conversation going. Ironic from a podcast host, right? I'll keep a conversation going. It's rare that I start them, but if you want your business to strive, it's a good idea to talk to strangers. And then it's a good idea to build with people, you know? I'm trying to get to a moral of the story or the point, right? Because I started off saying, I had some people burn me in the past. Yeah, join the club. Everybody has, right? I guess the moral and the main point I'm trying to make, I'm still going to, you know, you see the energy he just brought and all the benefits that he was able to gain from networking. Sometimes I need that perspective. Sometimes you need people to give you a perspective to encourage you, go get your ass out there and network. We still building that community. I'm inviting y'all to grow with that community, facebook.com/group/Delete Kingdom. And in the links below, you'll see other ways to tap in as well, whether it's a consultation with me or him, whether it is just reaching out on Instagram. But we want to get you together on the business side, financially, get your business credit together. I've at least cracked the code on business funding, right? I've been approved for over $1 million in business funding. So I know I can get you together. I work with a lot of people one-on-one because it is a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I talk to bankers every day, and I'm keeping up to date with the things that change. So if you want to tap in, just know you can duplicate my results because that's my goal. That's my business model. But your situation is a huge factor. So we gonna have to work on your situation and scale from there. Your strategy might be a little different from mine. That's what I'm learning as a business owner, right? Not everybody's credit report is the same. Not everybody's circumstance or business industry is the same. And I can't automatically just switch your industry to mine. Oh, just put this next code here. No, I literally got to ask the right questions. So I ain't going to be long-winded on that, but I'm inviting y'all to work with me. I'm inviting y'all to work with us. At the end of the day, y'all know where to follow us. I'm IG, Delete King 850.
Yes, sir.
You got to say, not only that, everything that they can get tapped in with you,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You want to tap in with us as far as you want to get your credit right, you go into your business funding, anything that's really financially get your life together, tap in with Delete King CVO, Delete King 850. You need some movies done, you need anything filmed, CVO Films. You want to tap in with HQ, we got a beautiful production studio here in Chicago, HQ Chicago. We got about 13 different places where you can shoot, film, photography, videography. You got a course, you got a family portrait, you got some content you want to do, you can come do it here. We also have a subscription for creatives, editing room, access to the studio, and literally be a part of a team of a bunch of other creatives that if you don't know something, they might know. If they don't know something, you might know, and we just going to strive for there. So you want to tap in with us. All our links will definitely be in the link of the bio. But other than that, y'all got to stay blessed and just tap in. We going to show you how to scale your business, scale your life, and also teach you how to be financially free, make the right investment moves, and you could live like kings and queens just following our footsteps in something that we're showing you in real time. We're not just saying we got this, we got that. No, we're literally sitting here in a warehouse that had to get built from scratch. That was a business investment, and that we did it. We got cars, we did it. We got cribs, investment properties, we did it. We're not out here just talking out our ass. No. We're doing it real time, real life, and we can show you that can be done as well for you.